Half-Life has always been what I like to call a thinking man's shooter. Not because it's super hard or complex, but because Valve expects the player to pay attention to every little thing, including details in the environment and missable dialogue. Half-Life 2 especially is full of details that enrich the game experience when you take your time to notice them. An obvious story theme in the game is Gordon Freeman's treatment by the Resistance as a messianic savior from the Combine, which is true, but also packed with irony. The people of the Resistance, even at the start of the game, are willing to give themselves to Gordon's cause. They call him the one free man. But is he really free? And is his goal, or more importantly the goal of his employer, really to help humanity? Looking at the events of the game a bit deeper, a lot of what he does during the game happens at the expense of the rebel movement, and even just ordinary citizens. Let's recap. As soon as you enter the apartments at the start of the game, you hear this announcement.
Attention, residents. Miscount detected in your block. Cooperation with your civil protection team. Permits full ration reward.
And civil protection floods the apartment and starts beating everybody. Despite all this pandemonium and ragdolling, there's only one confirmed casualty.
Get in here, quick! Keep moving, head for the roof!
While Civil Protection's response was obviously extreme, you, Gordon, caused that miscount. And it doesn't end there. Let's skip ahead to the canals. Because Breen was alerted to your presence, the Civil Protection came down on the Underground Railroad. I'd guesstimate that around 100 people died or were zombified in the ensuing raids. If you weren't Gordon Freeman, the rebels would have been pissed. The aftermath of these raids can be seen in Water Hazard, where nearly every resistance station along the river has been shelled or raided. One brave survivor does drop you supplies, but is immediately caught by a scanner, and we can only guess what happens to him. I don't even have to tell you that Black Mesa East was destroyed because Gordon, you, showed up there. Mossman didn't even get the chance to signal the Combine because of how feverishly you were being tracked. Ravenholm was like that when you got there, although you can argue that Father Grigori may have died helping Gordon escape. Later on in Highway 17 and Sand Traps, it's the same story as in Water Hazard. Rebel bases and outposts are either constantly under siege by the Combine or already exterminated. Even Lighthouse Point, which you help defend at the very end of the Jeep section, is overwhelmed right after they send you down the cliff path. Inside Nova Prospekt, the Overwatch voice makes this announcement.
Attention Nova Prospekt internal containment team. Deservice all political conscripts in Block A7. Prohibit external contact.
We don't know what would have happened to those prisoners if Gordon hadn't shown up, but now they are definitely dead. Even the uprising is triggered by accident when the Nova Prospekt teleporter overloads and explodes trying to teleport twice in one day. I'd guess the human death toll for that one is in the thousands, judging by how fast striders and gunships tend to work. Even though you did make it to the Citadel, those deaths would have been in vain if not for Mossman's triple crossing. For the short time you're Dr. Breen's captive, though, he reminds you of why and how you're really here.
The new leader. And this one has proven to be a fine pawn for those who control him.
No!
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
How about it, Dr. Freeman? Did you realize your contract was open to the highest bidder?
Gordon would never make any kind of deal with you.
I understand if you don't wish to discuss this.
In case you had been completely immersed in the fantasy of being the one free man and leading the resistance to victory, this scene serves as a bit of a reminder of who's really in control. And of course, at the end, just as soon as you've assassinated Breen and finished your mission, your boss comes to pick you up.
We've got to get out of here. Maybe we still have...
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived.
This scene, while chilling and cliffhanging, is also a reminder of your true purpose as an agent of the G-Man. From what I can tell, the job you were sent on in the first place was only to kill Breen, and maybe destroy the Citadel reactor. All the people you met, friends you made, movements you started, were a side effect of your mission. G-Dog doesn't give a damn about their fates, only that you did your job. The man heralded by the Resistance as their savior, messiah, the man who single-handedly kick-started the uprising and made it succeed, only became the hero of the people to further the mission from his employer. A lot like the destruction of Black Mesa and the thousands dead during the incident, the plight of the rebellion was only really a means to an end. That's not to say Gordon wouldn't care about his fellow humans. I mean, did you, the player, care about the characters on your first time through? He just didn't really have a choice. G-Slice does care about Alex in the episodes, but looking at Half-Life 2 in a vacuum, the way he treats her at the end implies apathy toward her at the time it was written. Gordon's false freedom is, in a way, tied directly to the game's linear nature. You, the player, are progressing on a path that feels natural and logical, but is all predetermined and constantly monitored and influenced. When you sat down to play Half-Life 2, much like when Gordon accepted his job offer, you resigned yourself to being led along by forces unseen. In a way, the G-Man's employers are Valve themselves. And that is why Mark Laidlaw is a motherfucking genius.